So the topic for today is don't let your guard down. Don't let your guard down. There's so much stuff happening. There's so much stuff going on, but don't let your guard down. So in 2020, we all know that 2020 was a crazy year. 2020 was a year of struggle. It was a year of pain. It was a year of learning, a year of coping, a year of just dealing with so much in 2020. And what happened is when 2020 was here, many of us wanted 2020 to just go on by. I mean, at some points I felt that way, but then I don't want to wish my life away. But 2020 was a year that people wanted it to just go by. Like, I done had enough. I've seen enough death. I've seen enough sickness. I've seen enough heartache and pain. I just want 2020 to go by. So now we jump into 2021. And in 2021, we find out that it's not that much different right now than 2020. See, we have to understand is that things don't get better based on a calendar year. Things don't get better based on a day that's on the calendar. When 2021 came in, it was based on what it is that we have to do. We are the ones that make change, not a calendar day. Even when we're not in a new season of the year, we should always be fasting and praying and being in the presence of God, even when our 21 days are over, even when things seem like the coast is clear, even when it seems like we can get a breath of fresh air now. No, beloved, we can't drop our guards because that's what the enemy wants. That's what the enemy wants. We cannot stop praying and fasting. We cannot stop bombarding heaven just because we have new people in leadership. We don't know how things are going to turn out, but we trust God. We trust that God has his people. We trust God that everything is in his control. We trust God that nothing happens that does not first go through the desk of the Father. There's nothing that's happening that God doesn't know about. So we can't let our guard down and just be like, oh, okay, well, it's over now. 2021 is here. We got it together now. We're going to do great things. No, beloved, because let me share something with you. The Bible says that in the book of Matthew, I believe it was the 4th chapter, the Bible said that Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. And after the fast, that's when the temptation comes. So, beloved, so for many of you who's been fasting and who've been praying, maybe it was with your church collectively, maybe it was individually, but those of you who've been fasting and praying and laying things before God, this ain't a time to let your guard down, because what happens in the Bible and what happened in the Bible was, it was after Jesus completed his fast that the enemy came to tempt him. And it's the same way like us, beloved. After we done fast and prayed, now the enemy is going to show his self, because the enemy, just like God knows our weaknesses, the enemy knows our weaknesses too. And so just because we done feel like, oh, I did my 21 days, or just because we feel like, oh, I done prayed and now we got a new president and vice president, now everything is clear. No, beloved, do not drop your guard, because the tempter is coming. The same way the enemy tempted Jesus in the wilderness after those 40 days, the same way he's going to come and tempt us. And how did he tempt Jesus? The Bible said that he tempted Jesus because he knew that Jesus was hungry. So it's during those times of our weakness that the enemy comes and try to attack us and try to tempt us and try to take control and try to make us lose out on everything that we done said we was going to do for God. And what happened is this. The enemy comes to tempt us with what? The lust of our flesh. What else the enemy come to try to tempt us with? The pride of life. And what else the enemy come and try to tempt us with? The lust of our eyes, what we see, what we want, materialistic things. Now, there's nothing wrong with having that, but that's one of the temptations that the enemy will set up for us. Oh, I think the coast is clear now. Oh, Biden is here now. Kamala Harris is here now. So I could start blowing my money again. Yeah, I could do that. The pandemic is almost over. We have a vaccine. So now I don't have to pray, for the healing of the nation as I was doing it before. No, beloved, we have to pray harder now. We don't get off the post just because legislation changed. We don't get off the post just because our 21-day fast is over. We don't get off the post because we think the coast is clear. No, beloved, we stay on the post and we stay bombarding heaven and we stay praying the same way we was praying when trouble was here. Because believe it or not, trouble isn't gone yet. Trouble isn't gone yet. And even when trouble leaves, we're supposed to be constant in it. Because guess what? Everything is a season. We have a season of good. We have a season of bad. It's like a cycle, a never-ending cycle. So we ought to always be on the wall, beloved. Praying. Keep praying. Because it's not over. Don't let your guard down. Don't let your guard down. And it's not only for what's happening in this nation. It's also not for what's happening in this world. But don't let your guard down when it comes to your business and to your ministries. Don't let your guard down. The Bible said that the enemy is seeking to and fro, searching who he may devour. That's 24/7. That's not something that is just like, oh, okay, for this moment. No, the enemy is seeking who he may devour. But thank God we serve a God. His name is Jesus, that said, I come that you might have life and that you might have it more abundantly. So us as believers, we have to stay on our post. Don't let your guard down.